played yesterday, and also here to give the results and other crossing more that will come your way. And of course, it's me, Swipe, today in the studio to take you through the whistle time, of course, that comes every time from Monday to Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. And of course, stay tuned as we really come into more of the sports time to talk about. To start straight away, of course, today we are going to host or welcome a team that is coming all the way from Koboko. That is Mbachi Pride. It's actually here already in town, and I'm sure really Onduparaka should be so much in preparations ahead of the game. Mbachi Pride, of course, is a fourth division game. Of course, they are to play in the fourth league this year. They have just qualified another good side from Koboko, Koboko district there. They're here, of course, to play. That is Onduparaka, which is today at 4 p.m. The game will be at Greenlight Stadium. And of course, from the sources coming, that is from the PRO for Onduparaka, he did put it clear that this time they're so much geared into preparing, which is really to make the team succeed this time. And of course, in the players that already, of course, we have good number of players that we have in that game today. The likes of Andama Junior, of course, scoring 4 goals to his names there in this league. He will also be available. The likes of Bida Ezra, they will also be available for that game. And of course, the game, as I said, is at 4 p.m. A friendly that will, of course, usher that is Onduparaka FC to another game which is to come, and that is against the Calvary, another tough side there. That's it for the local. And of course, all the other, we're also here to take you through about the other games that were played. And before we come to that, yesterday we did talk about the Uganda Secondary School Games, of course, 2025. It's another year. That's also for the schools to play their games. Of course, we're talking about the ball game 1, ball game 2. When we talk about ball game 1, of course, we're talking about the football, which is for both girls and boys, of course, for the secondary schools that may qualify to play. And when I mean qualify, that means not all schools will play, because there are some of the schools that were banned and they will not play. That means for now everything is fresh. And of course, latest coming today, as we did told you earlier on, that the press were conducted, of course, yesterday. The press conference was conducted yesterday at Greener View Gardens, of course, basically about how these games are going to start. And we didn't tell you earlier on that the venue this year for 2025 sports, or for USS, that is Zonal League to take place, of course, will be, that is Maracha Seed Secondary School. That's Maracha District. That means Maracha this time should be prepared to host the Zonal. Last year, we were in Koboko, where all the leagues were conducted, especially that is for both ball game 1 and ball game 2. That's where the games were held. I mean, St. Charles Luanga, and of course, Nyarlo Playgrounds, not forgetting Nyangelia. That's where these games are held. And we said it's now Maracha that's going to take over this zonal game. That's what is confirmed. And of course, other sources also are revealing today that for the ball game 2, which consists of course, that is to do more of rugby, and of course we shall have that is tennis this time. More of the games will come, and that means they will now be in what we call in the district that is St. Assumptabs, of course, in Jumani. That's one of the places where also ball game 2 will take place as far as the secondary schools are concerned for the zonals. And of course, most of the districts, last year we did have like quite 4 to 3 schools that are represented, of course, in ball game 1. And of course, football being the most loved, you see most of the schools, most of the districts did send, of course, quite a number of schools. And coming to ball game 2, you realize that really few schools went, and some of the schools did not turn up. And that was the question really solved. What is going to happen? What will be next in case a school does not show up or does not represent the district, in case they are taken for the zonals, especially in ball game 2? And the response, of course, coming there is that there will be kind of criteria that will be followed on how these spaces will be filled to ensure that the ball games too will go successfully. And to me, that seems another attitude that really we have in West Nile was so much geared or focused into, that is football alone. But I want to task everyone is that we are so much talented in different areas, and that means we have to this time give privilege to special athletics and of course volleyball and other, especially basketball there. We need to really focus so much on that. And that's all coming for the USS. And And of course, more shall keep updating you. That is that's West Nile TV each and every time concerning sports. And I want to take us next to, of course, before we can really talk about the regional leagues, of course, the Division 3 which are to come. And I'm also here to take you through with what we call the Stanbic Cup, which is also on the way. And of course, today the list is out, finally, the date and when these games will be played. And I said earlier on, I'm also here to take you through the Uganda Cup. Of course, what we call 51st edition of Uganda Cup, which is also here to take place this year. And I said West Nile did have quite a number of games, clubs that are to now represent. And I said earlier on, these are mostly traditional clubs that are really to represent in the Uganda Cup. The last time I remember really one of the upcoming teams that really did reach up to the round of 16, that is Tipsa, where they were eliminated by Kitara there, as Kitara did made their way this time to where they are. This time you look at the clubs like that Spider, Black Angels, we have Onduparaka, not forgetting Calvary, and of course this time joined by, that is Kuluva Rainbow, we have, that is Odamachako, all in the mix. Tells you these are all traditional. Looking at the dates stipulated, of course, the list is quite long, and of course some of us would be so much focused on when Onduparaka will play, when Odamachako is going to play, and I'm here to take you through the dates, of course, when these clubs will play. Of course, we shall start with the match that will be between Odamachako, Pakauch Young Stars and Kigezi Homeboys. Of course, this game will be on 10th of January 2025. 10th of January 2025. That's when we shall see. That is Pakauch Young Stars. Of course, they will take on Kigezi Homeboys. Kigezi Homeboys, of course, this is another team which is also playing today. They have traveled to Calvary. They're going to play a match with Calvary. And it's a tricky thing. On 10th, they also have a match. And of course, 12th, they also have a match. That is in the big league. It's a bit kind of congesting. But I think all will be well with them on how they'll be sorted. But the game between Pakauch Young Stars and that is Kigezi Homeboys, of course, at the big league side there. This game will be on 10th of January 2025. And this game will be at St. That is St. Mary's Omach. Of course, that's where this game will be. And another, of course, to look at, we have quite a number of clubs here. We have Express, KCCA, and of course, not forgetting really our own here, that is Kuluva Rainbow. As we did see in the fixture earlier on, Kuluva Rainbow, they will take on Maida, another struggling side there in the big league, of course. Another struggling. They just got themselves 10 points, and this time in the Ghana Cup, they are forced to travel. That is Arua, of course, to play. That is Kuluva Rainbow, who did made their way to the round of 64. That is in the Ghana Cup. And of course, the game between that is Kuluva Rainbow and Maida. This game will be on this game will be on 25th of January 2025. That's when we shall also see Kuluva Rainbow welcoming that is Maida FC back home, and this game will be in what we call the Hospital Arena, where normal Kuluva Rainbow plays. Another match, of course, interestingly, we have Onduparaka FC. They will travel away to Busenyi Veterans. Of course, this game will be on 16th of January. Onduparaka, of course, 4th of the table there in their league. They are so much contented, and this time I think they should be able to honor this league travel and play this Busenyi side. That is in the Ghana Cup. As I said earlier on, this game will be on 16th Thursday, of course, January 2025. And another tricky side there, of course, for the West Nile team, we have Total FC. They will welcome Arua Hill Soccer Club. This game will be on 24th, of course, of January. How they are really spaced, I think people should be able to get at the time to watch all these games and so on. And of course, Arua Hill, formerly based Arua side, this time they travel back to Arua. And I hope coming back home, it will be quite a good one for them to play. That is a Total, a third division club there. Total currently being really on form of late. They didn't perform well, trying to really sign one or two of the players. I did talk about, of course, Taban, one of the key players this time, Total trying to really get him back into the team. I think it's really one of the reasons that made it Total to get back into their form. Of course, tells you how Total is prepared, or the third division side there is prepared. So they will face, that's Arua Hill on 24th. that is January, in what we call the Uganda Cup. And of course, quite number of games there that are to come. And of course, looking at the Uganda Cup, and I said these games will be between 10th to 20th. That's when basically they're going to take place. And of course, in a minute this day, you'll also realize that there are also matches for these games that are going to take place, especially we mean the leagues, especially the Division 3 games. Clubs like Totali that will be playing also Division 3. Possibly they should be closing down the half season of 2024/2025, of course, come this date, of course, this weekend. That means they'll have enough time. Unlike the big clubs, of course, the big league sides like Onduparaka and of course and others that will also have other games to play. That means there will be kind of changes there, and then to see that all these games, end successfully. And in most cases, where there's clash for the team to play, of course, it's always the Uganda Cup which is taken first, and then other matches will be adjourned or will be adjusted on a very suitable date that really can be fixed, and these clubs can play. I did mention earlier on, of course, about the Kigezi Homa Boys team. Today, they are traveling to that is Calvary site. Are they playing Calvary today? As I talk right now, they're ready in Yumbe Town to play Calvary. And of course, they are playing today on date 8th. They also have a match at hand. Of course, that match is slated for 10th. Another tricky one for them. And again on 12th, they will also have a match there. Interesting. So that means when you look at the Uganda Cup, also that's going to be in between. That means definitely all these matches will be kind of adjusted to a suitable date that they can be played. And that's all for the Uganda Cup. We are winding it down, of course, the round of 64, and we're to see what's going to happen. I don't know, clubs like Onduparaka this time, can they really maintain it? That's $1 million question. You see this time Odamachaku, very strong side there, have really good players. Will they really maintain it? That's $1 million question. We're going to leave in the hands, of course, the management to see that they have all it takes to really play. And of course, to take you straight to another side of the sports, looking at some games that were played, of course, in the big league side there, or what we call the Uganda Big League. Number of games that were played yesterday. And of course, we're here to give you the update of the games that were played. And I did say earlier on, we still have matches which are to play. And of course, immediately after here, we shall see that more of this will actually come by around the 22nd. That is after these games were played. In some of the games that were played, of course, we have Buhimba that really did win. That's against Karo Karungi, 2-1. And of course, that game ended right there for that is in favor of Buhimba. Buhimba United winning 2-1. We also have Busoga United, of course, beating Arua Hill 2-1. Gaddafi, of course, winning 3-0 against Boma FC. Maida, another struggling side there. As I said, really 10 points down, rock bottom there. The table are losing. That is to Kataka 1-0. And Hov Tungazase, of course, losing to Black Powers 2-1. Black Powers this time, they are really very strong side there. They are looking left, right to see that really all games goes well. And honestly, this win to me, it wasn't a surprise. That's Black Powers, very good in their position there. As we did with Ines also earlier on, Paida Black Angels, of course, are winning 2-0 against Kigezi home sides that are playing, who are also playing, that is Calvary today. And as we said, the fixture somehow a bit, but we hope all the best. They will really win that game. And of course, looking at really the table standing for the big league clubs, that means things are getting a bit tight right there. Things are getting a bit tight. You see clubs like Arua Hill and of course this time Calvary that has been top and not really so much dominating. That means they will have to really focus on one or two of the things. We did discuss about that is Calvary, another good side there. But what was happening to Calvary, that's $1 million question we really have to look into. And of course, Calvary, as they play today, definitely, we shall look into it, that you'll see that the more of that will actually come or to change. Of course, looking at the starting, of course, the table in the big league, we have Gaddafi FC, and of course with Gaddafi FC, of course, with 26 points. They have 26 points, and they have 5 wins, of course, with a match at hand, of course, to play, giving them 26 points. We have Black Powers, of course, 26 points, also winning 3 and losing, of course, 1 and drawing 1. So good them for there. Of course, Onduparaka comes, of course, third with 22nd points, winning 3, losing, of course, 1, and of course drawing 1 with still a match at hand to play. That is Calvary side. If they win this game, of course, they will have 23 points still. That will keep them, below the second leaders there. I mean, that is Black Powers there. And of course, fourth position comes Bohimba United with the 22 points. Of course, having 4 wins in this league, they really picked 4 points. That is 22 points. Of course, 4 wins in this with 1 draw, and that is Bohimba United. And of course, the fifth comes, that is Calvary with 18 points, 2 draws, of course, 1 draw with 2 wins, 1 lose into their name there. And of course, on the sixth come, that is Spider Black Angels with the 2 wins, of course, 3 kind of losses there for them. So bad for Spider Black Angels. We did talk about Spider Black Angels, a club that started well, and of course, of late, they had kind of so much of management issues that were really triggering them there and then. And of course, you see number of management kind of people in the management who are changed. The coach did resign, this time coming back. And of course, immediately as they made the change, you realize that the coach, of course, did made his way back. As he said, he was just trying to make things amend. That means really his coming back was blessing, as they did win that game. And of course, putting them 5th on the table there with 18 points. And so with 16 points, of course, that is by the Black Angels. Number 7th position, we have a Boma FC with 16 points. Of course, Boma really not all that good for them. They did pick quite a number of draws there for them, having really three draws, and of course, kind of losses for them, placing them in a very dangerous position for them. That means they have to do a lot this time if they want to progress. And of course, number 8 comes Kiindi. We have Kiindi, of course, with the 2 wins. With the 2 kind of losses there in their names. Another struggle inside there means they will have to really open an eye to that. And of course, number 9 comes Kataka with 16 points. And of course, the only difference, when you look at the Black Angels, you look at Boma, you look at Kiindi, and of course Kataka, you realize that it's just kind of goal difference. It's just goal difference. All of them have 16 points each. They scooped 16 points each. It's just about the goal difference that they will have to really focus and where it has put them. And of course, number 10 comes Karo Karungi with 13 points, of course, picking only 1 win there in their names, giving them 13 points, with others coming from draws. We have Tunga Sase, of course, in the number 11 position with the 12 points. Number 12, we have, that is Kigezi Homeboys. As I say, they are playing Calvary today with the 12 points, also picking 1 point with number of kind of losses in their names there. We have Busoga United, 11th. Of course, Busoga lying down in the 13th position. They are 14th. Our former, that is Arua Hill, of course, Ira, the 14th position with the 10 points. Number 15th, of course, is Ameida. Arua Hill, quite struggling. I hope this is not more of a kind of really, misfortune for Arua this time to see that they are back in the form. Of course, we pray all the best. Arua Hill being transferred, of course, all the way to that is Gulu. We expected more to be done in the club. And this is a club that really had name, a club that has put the flag up. Everyone is proud of that. And of course, when such happens, and of course, it always kind of not that good. But we shall look at that, of course, one day. We shall come and talk about how Arua Hill, of course, will basically look at that. And of course, in the next fixtures, as I say today, before we come in for a short commercial break, of course, today I said in the big league, there are still games to play. And I did say, of course, that is Calvary will welcome home. That is Kigezi Homa Boys. And of course, tomorrow we shall also see Gaddafi FC playing. That is Spider Black Angels. And this game will be at where, of course, Gaddafi plays. Looking at Calvary, of course, they will play Kigezi Homa Boys. Another tricky one there for Kigezi. They have really matches that are being fixed there and then. Looking at the head-to-head, of course, between that is Calvary and Kigezi, where they really lie. Very interesting that, of course, everyone will always love to look at. In between the two, that they really meant, of course, Calvary did scoop more wins compared to Kigezi. Kigas, of course, a good side, and Calvary, though somehow also a good side. But I think Calvary seems to be having an upper hand at this point. That is Calvary Football Club. And of course, we shall take you through about they starting, and of course some of the team news for that is Calvary that will come live. And I said the game, of course, between that is Onduparaka FC welcoming home the 4th division side. That is Mbachi Pride, which is also coming away. I shall give you more updates about that. And of course, we are coming for a short commercial break. When we get back, we shall actually give you more of the whistle time pertaining sports.